welcome to MLB Postseason Throwback Thursday. This is the third straight Thursday that I'll be talking about classic postseason games. And on this edition, I'll be talking about from 2001 to 2005. (2001) ALDS between the Mariners and the Indians, Game 3. Why I chose this one? Because it was CC Sabathia's first postseason game. He did a very good job pitching against that Mariners team that won 116 games that year. He was solid. The Indians did win that game 3. I remember there was some home runs by Juan Gonzalez. This was post prime Juan Gonzalez. He dealt with so many injuries, but he still showed the world why in the postseason he is the man. Ellis Burks also hit a home run, if I'm not mistaken. But the story of that game, the player of that game is CC Sabathia. Young CC Sabathia just gave it to the Mariners in that game. And that's why I picked this particular game, because of CC Sabathia. And even though he had more bad luck than good luck in the postseason throughout his career, but in his first postseason start, he did an absolute good job. And I feel that people don't bring that game often, but I'm bringing it up because people just focus on him giving up that grand slam against Shane Victorino in 2008, his 2007 postseason start against the Red Sox in the ALCS. But this particular game, he did a very good job in his first postseason game of his career. (2002) NLCS Game 5. The Giants have always given Cardinals problems in the postseason, and 2002 was the start of it. It's tough because I felt that the 2002 St. Louis team had dealt with a lot that season, especially when they lost their pitcher Darryl Kyle unexpectedly. And I felt that with Darryl's death, it would have inspired them to go all the way, but they didn't. They lost in 5 games to the Giants. But in this game, Kenny Lofton hit a game-winning single in the 9th, which helped the Giants win the pennant and moved on to the World Series. It's just very tough for that Cardinals team that year. It would have been great if they would have gone all the way for Darryl, but unfortunately, not every team can have the same story that the 2013 Boston Red Sox team that they had that year, dealing with the Boston bombings, and then excuse me, they went on the way to win the World Series. And I think Tony La Russa said that it was probably one of the most, or if not the most, disappointing conclusions to a season, which was 2002 Cardinals, because of what they dealt with throughout that whole year. Not only losing Darryl Kyle, but they also lost Jack Buck, legendary broadcaster Jack Buck. (2003) NLDS between the Giants and the Marlins. The 2003 postseason is by far one of my favorite postseasons that I've ever saw, and I was only 12 at the time. But this series, the Giants versus Marlins, was one of my favorite ones. Game 3 and Game 4, but more Game 3 stands out the most to me. I remember that it was a Friday, watching this game on ESPN. Giants had a 3-2 lead in the 11th inning. And then Jose Cruz Jr., who was playing right field for the Giants, he dropped a fly ball, which the Marlins were able to capitalize. Ivan Pudge Rodriguez, who was an absolute stud for the Marlins that year, he hit the game winner by driving in 2 runs, which helped the Marlins take Game 3 to 1 series lead, and then they closed it out the following day in Game 4, which also had to do with Pudge at the plate. But it was just a phenomenal series, but Game 3 definitely sticks out to me the most. The 2004 NLCS, Astros versus Cardinals. I gotta bring up games 5 and 6. Those were some of the best games of that series. The Astros Cardinals series were great, but I felt like they got overshadowed by the Yankees and Red Sox. And because the Red Sox came back from a 3-0 deficit in the series to come back and win it. But the Astros and Cardinals series were just as good and entertaining as the Red Sox and Yankees. Game 5, Jeff Kent with 2 men on base hit a game-winning 3-run home run, which gave the Astros a 3-2 series lead. But before all of that, I like to mention Brendan Backey. He's pitched like 7 or 8 scoreless innings in that game, because it was 0-0 all the way to the 9th until Jeff Kent hit that home run. And then you had Game 6. Jim Edmonds responded to Jeff Kent's Game 5 by hitting a 2-run home run in the 12th inning to tie the series and force a Game 7. And Game 7 was also a classic. It was entertaining, but Games 5 and 6 were even much more better and entertaining. So I like to mention that one because, again, it was a series that got overshadowed by the Yankees and Red Sox series. The 2005 Chicago White Sox team were phenomenal. There was a lot of harmony in that team, a lot of talented players on that team. Those White Sox team from the mid-2000s were just fun to watch. AJ Przinsky, Frank Thomas, Joe Crede, Paul Konerko, Juan Uribe, Brian Anderson, Scott Pazenik, Mark Burley, El Duque. The list just got Bobby Jenks, who was their closer. It was just a phenomenal team. I picked Game 2 between the Angels and the White Sox in the ALCS. I wish it could have been the Yankees and White Sox in the ALCS, but whatever. If I remember correctly, there was like a controversial call late in the game, which worked against the Angels' favor. But the White Sox did win that game. But one controversial call changed the outcome of the game. And I'm sure that it's something that the Angels fans wish that if it weren't for that call, like, would have changed the whole outcome of the series. We don't know. Part of me believes, a big part of me believes that it wouldn't have made a difference because the White Sox were just rolling that whole season. Even though the second half of the season, they almost gave up the AL Central to the Indians, who were chasing them, but the White Sox were the White Sox all year long. They had tremendous chemistry. They were fun to watch, entertaining. When I think about teams that were fun and entertaining to watch that won it all, I think about the 2005 Chicago White Sox, the 2003 Marlins, the 2019 Washington Nationals. And in the future going forward, I believe that Toronto Blue Jays or the San Diego Padres could be those next teams that that they're so fun to watch. There's so much great chemistry between them, and then they go off to win it all. So that's pretty much it. That does it for this week's Sports Throwback Thursday. Stay tuned for next Thursday, which will be the very last MLB Postseason Throwback Thursday for the month of October. And I'll be talking about from 2006 through 2010.